Tonight, a first look at potential tax and fee increases in the city's budget. And cultural groups in Saskatchewan can now secure annual recognition.
From our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. A tentative sentencing has been set for the man convicted of second-degree murder in the death of Misha Pavelick. The man was found guilty of fatally stabbing Pavelick back in 2006 after a month-long trial at Court of King's Bench. The tentative sentencing hearing is scheduled for March 31st to April 2nd of 2026. The Crown is seeking an adult sentence, which will be argued in court. The man found guilty of second-degree murder in Pavelick's death cannot be named due to the Youth Criminal Justice Act, as he was under 18 years old at the time of the offense. Pavelick died at the age of 19 years old following a fight at a high school graduation party held at a campground near Last Mountain Lake, which the cause of his death has found to be a stab wound to the heart. The matter will return to court next spring. Well, Regina police have charged 2 more people in the death of a 19-year-old man earlier this month in Regina. Police were called to the 1000 block of 12th Avenue in the early morning of November 1st, where a 19-year-old man was found dead from a gunshot wound. 20-year-old Jaden Achu is charged with accessory after the fact to murder. He appeared in Regina Provincial Court this morning. 18-year-old Brandon Kaisawadam is charged with unauthorized possession of a firearm. He will appear at court on January 5th. Also charged is 43-year-old Dana Delmore, 44-year-old Trevor Whitequill, and a 17-year-old girl with accessory after the fact. A 16-year-old boy is charged with second-degree murder. Well, next month, Regina City Council will finalize its budget for the next 2 years. But today, we're getting our first look at what increases may be on the horizon. Donovan Mace now with a breakdown on what it could mean for homeowners.
City administration is giving Regina residents a first look at the 2026 budget.
Forecasted status quo operating revenues of $636 million and expenses of $687 million. This leaves a funding gap of roughly $51 million.
And there's only one way to close it.
With property tax revenue requires a mill rate increase of 15.69%.
15.69% is the largest forecasted mill rate increase in more than a decade and more than double what council approved for 2025. It is accompanied with a utility rate hike of nearly 8%. And in total, the average Regina household could see its city expenses increase by nearly $50 a month, adding up to around $537 per year. Now, this forecast is based on what administration says is needed to keep the city's current service levels, plus priorities outlined by council over the past year.
It's hard to maintain what that impact is overall when you're doing these small little slices. So it puts a lot of pressure on the finance team to make sure that we haven't forgotten or overlooked any of these small little increases.
Acting City Manager Jim Nichols says Regina continues to battle aging infrastructure, and the tax increases are essential to address a growing deficit.
Mill rate increases in the past kept artificially low. And I think there would be some argument that perhaps they were, because politically no one wants to stand up and say we're raising your taxes, 2 or 3-fold.
But there is time for this forecast to change as council works towards less drastic increases in the future.
But the math is the math, and we have to look at what is in front of us today to find a balance between the cost of delivering the services residents expect and the affordability that residents are looking for.
Now, these numbers are only forecasts and not cemented yet. Council is scheduled to debate and approve the final budget during deliberations December 15th through the 19th. Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
Well, Canada's finance minister was in Regina today discussing how the federal budget supports municipalities across Saskatchewan. Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne and Randy Golden, president of Saskatchewan Urban Municipalities Association, spoke about various topics surrounding supports for nuclear and mining projects, housing, investments towards infrastructure, along with supports for municipalities dealing with public safety. Champagne claims the budget is tailored to Regina and Saskatchewan, allowing farmers to bring their products to the market faster.
We have critical minerals, which are going to be key to power the future. We have an abundance of energy, and we have access to global markets. So I would say that when you look at the future, you understand that the federal budget is a key piece in order to make Saskatchewan, the prairies, and I would say even in particular Regina, at the center of the growth that we want to see in the country.
We are very encouraged in the budget to be recognized for the role that we play in the national building projects that are coming forward, or just in growing our country. So we were encouraged by that. Are there some nuances that we have to continue to talk? Absolutely. You heard me ask some of those questions.
The event took place at the Globe Theatre in downtown Regina, where renovations was help funded by the federal government. Well, here at home, the provincial government is making it easier for cultural groups to have special weeks declared in their honor. Organizations will only have to apply once, and the week selected will be set aside annually. Wayne Mantika has those details.
There's documentation required before the provincial government declares a special week in recognition of a cultural group.
People have had to contact our office or offices to ask for proclamation of their heritage and their special, occasions to be recognized.
The process must be repeated every year, but that will change through new legislation introduced in the Saskatchewan legislature.
They will automatically be recognized every year from here on, moving forward.
Representatives from many cultural groups came to the legislative building to witness introduction of an act called From Many People's Strength. Ukrainians will be recognized every September.
And now those many threads of Ukrainian culture that have been interwoven into the cultural mosaic of our province are going to be recognized formally and every year.
October will be the month set aside annually to recognize the contributions of Islamic people.
So we are very thankful to Minister Elena Ross for inviting us, especially today, to take this meaningful step to recognize October as an Islamic Heritage Month.
People from every walk of life will be recognized.
And recognizing the contributions, again, that the over 44,000 Filipinos here in the province have made. We are your healthcare workers, your friends, your family, your business leaders and entrepreneurs.
There are over 160 cultural organizations in Saskatchewan, more than the number of weeks in a year. Some groups may have to double up, but that won't diminish the recognition granted under the new legislation. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The government of Saskatchewan has selected 2 hotels to provide temporary accommodation for people experiencing homelessness in Saskatoon and Regina. CTV's Laura Woodward now on the price tag and the criticism.
This public procurement document shows the province is spending about $1.5 million on hotel rooms for people experiencing homelessness.
We are getting the best value for the ratepayers of this province, as well as providing a safe place for these individuals to go in crisis.
A contract of about $600,000 awarded to the Country Inn and Suites in Saskatoon and $900,000 to the Travel Lodge Suites in Regina. Both hotels previously participated in a 1-year pilot project launched in August 2024, which cost the province about $1.2 million. At that time, the government said the hotel rooms would only be used in an emergency situation when shelters were full. The NDP is criticizing the renewed reliance on hotels.
Not only is this a horrible use of taxpayer dollars, it doesn't give people the supports they need to get back on their feet.
The NDP says the government should focus on affordable housing as a solution to homelessness.
There's more than 2,000 vacant affordable housing units in this province. The government refuses to fix them. They would rather dole out millions to hotels.
This government has invested $98 million to date in this area.
Laurel Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The provincial government is also giving $200,000 in funding to a Regina-based organization to expand grief and trauma counseling services. Caring Hearts gives a range of specialized supports to people dealing with situations like loss of a loved one to suicide. They offer counseling, support groups, healing circles, kids camp, and community support following traumatic events. Last year, they worked with more than 500 families and individuals to help find their way through the grief of losing a loved one.
I feel very blessed in the sense that we also get to see people find hope again, and see that glimmer come back into their eyes, and I mean, that makes it all worth it.
This is putting $624 million towards mental health and addiction services this year in the budget. Welcome back. It's just kind of like a broken record, I'm starting to sound like, with lots of above seasonal average temperatures. And of course, that was the case today, but it won't be until maybe Monday where we may start to see things change, or at least in the coming weeks or so. But for now, let's just enjoy it while we can here. Take a look at the sky cam right now, sitting at about -3 degrees, so a little bit chillier than a little bit yesterday, but calmer winds, though, definitely just under 10 kilometers an hour. Looking at to the satellite radar map from earlier this evening, a little bit of cloud coverage kind of making its way eastbound there. So nothing too crazy in terms of precipitation or snowfall in the forecast there. So things are looking pretty calm right now. Looking at the daytime high today, again, above seasonal averages, which is a wonderful thing to see there. Normally we're around -2, but today we were at a high of 5 degrees. We did get a little bit cooler into the morning with that -8 though. So again, still above average just by about 4 degrees or so. Now looking ahead to tomorrow and the next couple of days, mostly some cloud coverage expected for Friday. Mostly the snow is heading in the northbound, as we've said before, which is a nice thing to see for us here down south. So it'll start to clear up around Saturday. So by Saturday night, things will begin to have mostly clear skies, but we'll still have a little bit of those single-digit temperatures, and most likely we will see those continue to be above average as well. Looking at the forecast for tonight, -11 in Prince Albert and North Battleford, -10 in Saskatoon, with -5 in Moose Jaw, -2 in Swift Current, and -6 for Weyburn and Estevan. Looking ahead to tomorrow, could see some fog in Prince Albert and North Battleford, sitting at -2 and 1 degree. A little bit warmer down south, as we can see here, 7 degrees in Moose Jaw, Weyburn, Estevan, as well as in Swift Current as well. In Yorkton, just a little bit cooler at 2 degrees. Now for us here overnight, we are going to get about -8 overnight, and then tomorrow mainly sunny with a few clouds coming here and there with a high of 4 degrees. And looking ahead to the next 7 days, things will change there, as you'll see on the Tuesday there. So 7 degrees on Saturday, more cloud coverage expected Sunday at 5, 1 degree on Monday, and then we could see some flurries beginning on Tuesday there. Could get maybe upwards of a centimeter or so on that Tuesday. -7 on Wednesday. This is where we'll start to see temperatures get below seasonal averages there, and also we'll see -7 there on Thursday. Well, Country Thunder Saskatchewan has officially announced their lineup for the 2026 event. The post-grunge rock group Creed will be one of the headlines this year, known for their hits with like Arms Wide Open and Higher. They will be one of 3 headline acts for this year's Country Thunder. They'll be joined by Grammy Award-winning country star Lainey Wilson and chart topper Riley Green. Organizers unveiled the event lineup on Thursday at the Rail Yard Saloon. Country Thunder has been hosting concerts across North America for years and first brought the festival to Saskatchewan back in 2005.
We have now found a way that we're going to try to have something for everybody. So it's just not a country music festival anymore. It's a music festival. So there's a lot of different boundaries that we've broken down. We need to address more fans in a more broader way of enjoying music as a whole.
Previous headliners have included Def Leppard, Bailey Zimmerman, Nickelback, and Keith Urban. Tickets are now on sale, and Country Thunder runs July 9th to 12th in Craven. Well, a new study is showing that Canadians are walking less, and fewer than half of adults are meeting recommended fitness goals. CTV's Kelly Gregg has more on how people are trying to stay in shape.
This is your morning routine every day?
Every day.
How far do you go in the morning?
In the morning before work, just about 5 minutes because I got to get to work, but he normally gets a walk. The least amount of time is a half an hour.
Bosco and his human, Melanie Chernovsky, are a staple on the streets of NDG. And if their twice daily walks weren't enough exercise, Chernovsky also owns this gym. Over the last few years, she's heard from clients who spent the pandemic on the couch.
The majority of people that I've spoken to just felt like they were lazy. They didn't have a routine, so people just felt very sedentary.
6 years ago, about half of Canadians aged 18 to 79 were taking 7,500 steps per day. But that pace has slowed and even gone backwards. Now it's about 32% taking the same amount of steps.
I think I do more than enough in a day, yeah. I'm in the medical field, so I'm up and down and walking back and forth all day long, yeah.
10 000 pas par jour.
Oh, oui?
Je monte à Montréal à tous les jours.
For the last 3 days we have, and we've been visiting Montreal, yes, but normally no.
A new report card from Participation.
Body Break.
Yes, the very same organization as Hal and Joanne shows less than half of Canadians are meeting recommended fitness levels. And again, the pandemic might be to blame.
We're working from home, but we're not moving at home. We're staying seated. We work in front of a computer.
Without a commute, there's less incentive to get outside and get moving.
This is something that we need to address. We see this more challenging than we thought.
The study also finds physical inactivity costs Canada $3.9 billion in avoidable health care costs every year. If the gym is too intimidating, Chernovsky recommends getting a smartwatch to at least track your steps. But getting started is half the battle.
Any kind of activity is a good activity, so if walking outside or just walking on a treadmill, if that's what works for you right now, that's going to get you started.
And if all else fails, a four-legged companion might help to at least get a step in the right direction. Kelly Gregg, CTV News.
Everybody loves dogs.
Well, new wearable technology, which helps to help pugs live their healthiest lives, is the subject of clinical trials at the Ontario Veterinary College in Guelph. As CTV's Ashley Bacon tells us, the doggy devices could make a big difference for animals with health complications.
This is Claire, one of 3 happy pugs, along with Clark and Phil, out for a play with grandparent Anne-Marie Connolly.
Keeping them lean helps with the breathing and exercising them.
Thankfully, none of these pugs have needed surgery for breathing issues, but with this breed, it's common.
These breeds experience something called brachycephalic obstructive airway syndrome, or BOAS. This is a general term we use for signs and symptoms that we see related to their kind of squished-faced anatomy.
Now, a clinical study on dog breeds like French bulldogs, English bulldogs, and pugs is underway at the Ontario Veterinary College to learn more about the effects of these surgeries. Wearable technology similar to a smartwatch called FitBark tracks the dog's activity pre and post surgery.
We'll even say it's sort of the same as steps, and so it uses their movement, does a little algorithm, and then gives us a score. It just attaches to a collar like this. It's a commercial device available to any consumer, and it syncs up to a smartphone app that allows us to collect data and sync it to a research portal.
Connolly says although they haven't had any major issues with their dog's activity levels, she understands the importance of the device.
It would be a consideration, but like I said, they really not had a lot of trouble. But I do think it's the lifestyle, like not to overfeed them, not get too heavy, and to keep them active.
Meanwhile, Farrell says the chance to generate clinical data is valuable in the future treatment of these breeds as they continue to be popular pets. Enrollment for the study will take place over the next few months. For more information on how to take part, head to our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Guelph.
After the break, the U of S Huskies play for provincial glory in this weekend's Vanier Cup. On Saturday afternoon, the U of S Huskies will host the University of Montreal in the Vanier Cup at Mosaic Stadium. Much like the school's name, the roster is truly Saskatchewan, with 16 communities represented. As Jacob Carr reports, winning the national title in the province would be something special.
The University of Saskatchewan Huskies took to the Mosaic Stadium turf for the first time this week, beginning their penultimate preparations for the Vanier Cup. And according to the team's head coach, being back in the big game for the first time since back-to-back losses in 2021 and 2022 is a result of a solid locker room.
I think our veteran leadership, the core of the team has been there.
But I think that what I saw this year is just the growth of our veteran leadership, and especially these two guys.
These two guys are fifth-year linebacker Seth Hundeby and fifth-year running back Riker Frank. The duo are among dozens of Saskatchewan-born players on the roster, and Hundeby says he cannot wait to see the atmosphere from the home crowd on Saturday.
I'm excited to see who comes out. I know, I got to show to my family. They said they're coming down for sure, and they'd follow me everywhere, and that's quite a few people as well. So I gotta give a lot of support and love back to them because they're amazing.
Frank grew up playing in the Queen City before taking his talents up Highway 11. Both he and Hundeby recognized the magnitude of what winning a national championship in their home province would mean.
It is a nice full circle moment for me, getting to play my last Husky game here back in my hometown. And yeah, this is a special game for us. We've gone through a lot this season on and off the field. It's no secret. So yeah, we know there's a lot riding on this one.
I think that would mean the most, and the amount of work that like all of us guys have put in, working towards this to this moment. It would be super duper special to share that with the fellas, and it'd be long lasting memories for a lifetime.
Hundeby and Frank will look to be key contributors and leaders on Saturday against a formidable Montreal Carabin outfit. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Well, the euphoria of Sunday's Grey Cup win is starting to fade, but the memories will last a lifetime, especially from Tuesday's wild parade to the Legislative Building. A few fans have raised concerns over the team's behavior, which seems to be on par with other championship celebrations over the past 5 years. Damian Smith has more.
It's a monumental moment for Rider Nation as celebrations continue after Sunday's Grey Cup win for both fans and the team. But for some, the celebratory mood went a little too far.
How about your Saskatchewan Rough Riders?
The offended people, most of the people I heard from had taken children or grandchildren to the event and said, these are our heroes, and I just really didn't like the way that the way that they were acting.
Head coach Corey Mace reflecting on the reception to his parade speech the following day, calling for a little slack as the team marks its first championship in 12 years.
If any of us were bad people or horrible role models 364 days of the year, then I'd say, we should do better.
The four-time Grey Cup champion says that his comments were still under, quote, parental guidance, or PG.
Personally, for me, I thought that was pretty PG, man, the way that we feel. I mean, we want to do everything for this fan base, and we cussed. Sorry, but I hope you accept our apology.
Along with the F-bomb, critics say for kids to see their players and coaches, their heroes, drinking beer and smoking cigars in a highly public setting, it didn't make the best impression. But the Riders are far from the first team and far from the worst team when it comes to parade shenanigans.
If I don't eat breakfast, I'll stall.
I would like to take this time to apologize to absolutely no one.
That said, is a championship parade meant as an opportunity to thank the fans or for the team to fully celebrate their championship with them?
I remember Tom Brady throwing the championship trophy around in the canal, and you think, things are getting, is this right?
Despite any controversy, most Rider fans will be hoping for another championship parade sooner rather than later. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Well, new travel figures suggest that many Canadians are sticking with their decision not to visit the United States. Stats Canada says the number of return trips from abroad in general was down 22.7% in September compared to 2024. But when it comes to U.S. travel, return trips by Canadian residents were down nearly 31%. There were 1.6 million return trips by car, making a nearly 34% drop year over year. September also broke a 3-month summer streak that saw more Americans traveling to Canada than Canadians heading south of the border. And finally, with the second Wicked movie set to debut this weekend, Hollywood insiders are expecting it will be flying high at the box office. The book turned musical turned movie reframes the story of the two iconic witches from The Wizard of Oz. Part 2 of the cinematic adaptation is called Wicked for Good. Variety reports it's on track to bring in $150 to $180 million US across North America in its first weekend. If it's on the higher end of that estimate, it would mark the biggest movie launch of 2025. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of CTV News at 11:30. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.